This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 6th day of August in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The European Union's election observation mission today deployed 14 long-term observers across the country. The EU team is observing all aspects of the electoral process, including the election administration, the legal framework, the conduct of the campaigns, involvement of civil society, and media coverage, which includes digital and social media platforms. The primary intention of the EU Observer Team is to assess compliance with Guyana's electoral laws, as well as regional and international commitments to democratic elections. Speaking to reporters at the Pegasus Hotel this morning, the Deputy Chief Observer for the EU Observer Mission, Vanya Angelova, said the deployment of the long-term observers marks the beginning of the team's full-scale observation of the elections in Guyana.
We are deploying 14 long-term observers in the different regions. We will cover all 10 regions. Our long-term observers will work in teams of 2. They come from 14 different countries, and also when we form our teams, we are very particularly paying attention to have gender balance.
The long-term observers will closely monitor key aspects of the elections at a regional level. Each team will meet and engage with key electoral stakeholders across the 10 regions, including voters, election officials, political parties, civil society representatives, and the media.
We'll make independent, neutral, and fact-based assessment of the election preparations and also the election process in general in the different locations where they are deployed.
Their findings, the official added, will contribute to the overall analysis of the EU team. A core team of 8 experts led by the EU's chief observer, Robert Biedron, a member of the European Parliament from Poland, has been in Guyana since July, engaging with key stakeholders, including the Guyana Elections Commission and the political parties. Closer to the 1st of September elections, another team of 20 observers is expected to arrive in the country to assist with observing the elections. In total, about 50 EU observers are expected to arrive in the country. The Deputy Chief Observer assured that all of the EU observers will follow a strict code of conduct for international observers, in line with the Declaration of Principles for International Election Observation endorsed by the United Nations. On the 3rd of September, 2 days after the elections, the EU team is expected to issue a preliminary report on its initial findings. A comprehensive report will be issued at a later date. More news coming up in just a moment.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
We voted for the PPTC again.
Region 5, it's your time to rise with the Red Tsunami. The People's Progressive Party Civic Road to Victory heads to Region 5 on Sunday, August 10th. All roads lead to Freedom House Square at Bath Settlement for a grand rally at 4 p.m. Join the momentum, feel the energy, stand with the only political party that is delivering real progress for every Guyanese. President Dr. Irfan Ali, General Secretary Dr. Bara Jagneo, Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, and other national leaders will lay out the bold vision to take Guyana even further in the next 5 years. From free university education to housing over 50,000 Guyanese, from world-class healthcare to real job creation, youth empowerment, and safer communities, the PPPC has delivered and will continue to deliver for all of Guyana. Mark the date, Sunday, August 10th, Freedom House Square, Bath Settlement, starting at 4 p.m. Join the movement for unity and continued progress with the PPPC, the only multi-ethnic, visionary, and trusted political party that leaves no community behind. Let's rally together and vote PPPC. Forward together for a better Guyana.
Join us for the International Building Expo 2025 at the Guyana National Stadium, Providence. From August 14th through the 17th, you can explore the latest in building and construction, get tips from the experts, and network with top professionals. But it's also a weekend of clean family entertainment. We have live bands and local artists performing each night. Admission is easy on the wallet. Kids under 12 are free and adults are only $500. The grand opening happens Thursday, August 14th at 5 p.m. Gates are open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., Friday through Sunday. Bring the entire family to the International Building Expo 2025 and build some memories together.
What's going on here, man? Why the two of y'all look so gloomy?
Uncle Joe, you know thief man been in we house and thief all we valuables, including we ID card. Now election come around and we want to go vote. We ain't got no ID card to identify ourselves. Now we can't go vote.
Well, you need to apply to GCOM to have your ID cards replaced. But you need not worry that you won't be able to vote because you don't have your ID cards. GCOM has put other measures in place to accurately identify voters like you who may not have the ID cards.
But how they gonna do that? How they gonna know is we name on the list if we don't have ID to prove it?
In addition to your ID card, voters can present their valid passports or valid driver's license if they have these.
Really?
But further, GCOM has placed your photograph alongside your name on a folio which will be at the polling station. And if you go to the polling station without a photo ID, you will be asked to state your name and address. The elections official will look at your face and then compare it with the photo alongside your name on the folio to confirm that they are the same. Then you'll have to answer some questions to verify your identity. If the election official is satisfied that you are the person who you claim to be, you will be allowed to vote after taking an oath of identity.
So you get for vote?
For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Join the Calaco family. We offer small class sizes with tuition fees starting at $24,000 per term. We welcome students from pre-K, nursery, and primary levels. Contact us on 2255731 or via WhatsApp at 6396007. Visit us at 9 Thomas Road, Thomas Lands, adjacent to Queens College. At Calaco, we are more than just a school. We are a family.
Let's tell you now that U.S. Ambassador to Guyana Nicole Theriot today said a decision by local banks to cut ties with candidates of the We Invest in Nationhood Party, which is led by U.S.-sanctioned Guyanese businessman Azruddin Mohammed, was entirely independent and has no association with the U.S. government. Speaking to reporters on the sidelines of an event this morning at the US-Guyana, the ambassador said the decision by local commercial banks to discontinue the provision of services to candidates of the Win Party because of their association with Mohammed has nothing to do with the sanctions handed down by the U.S. Office of Foreign Assets Control.
There is absolutely no association. The OFAC sanctions are for the U.S. They're the U.S. government, and they pertain solely to what happens in the United States and business being done in the United States. The decision by the banks here was entirely independent.
More than 30 Win candidates from across the country have had their bank accounts closed by Demerara Bank, the Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry Limited (GBTI), Citizens Bank, and the New Building Society Limited. And that was done since the publication of the party's approved list of candidates by the Guyana Elections Commission in late July. Demerara Bank was the first bank to sever ties. In a letter seen by News Source, the Demerara Bank informed the Win candidate Natasha Singh that it had taken a decision to discontinue all services provided in compliance with the bank's internal policies and banking requirements. The U.S. ambassador today made it clear that the local banks did not consult the U.S. Embassy before arriving at their decision.
We were not consulted, we were not asked, we have no opinion on the matter. The banks here make their own decisions.
Ambassador Theriot said the issue of discontinuing banking services provided to Win candidates is entirely a private sector matter for which the U.S. played no part. Asked whether the decision could have been made due to the relations with corresponding banks in the U.S. and the possible impact of the sanctions on those relations, the U.S. ambassador said she could not say whether there were discussions between the local banks and their banking partners in the U.S. Meanwhile, on the issue of Mohammed's candidacy, Ambassador Theriot said she stands by her earlier statements that his election to government or the National Assembly could effectively cause the U.S. government to change the way it conducts business with Guyana. She said her statement was made on the basis of facts.
I was stating facts. I was asked what being OFAC sanctioned meant in terms of the U.S. government being able to work with an individual, and I simply gave the facts that that have occurred in other countries where OFAC sanctioned individuals have been a member of the government, and how the U.S. government had to adjust how we worked with that government. And I would say the exact same thing today. I simply stated the facts as they are publicly available from the Department of Treasury.
Ambassador Theriot also said the U.S. has no interest in interfering in Guyana's elections.
We have absolutely no interest in interfering in your elections. I was asked a question, I gave the facts as I understand them, as they are published on our Department of Treasury website. I have no interest or intention of interfering in the government of Guyana's election. This is a sovereign country. You run your elections as you see fit. Where we're providing support, such as in the election security realm, it was requested, and we're responding. How you run your elections is entirely up to you.
Mohammed, along with his father and their businesses, were sanctioned by the U.S. government last year over tax evasion and gold on the declaration claims. A government permanent secretary was also sanctioned by the U.S. government for her relations with the Mohammeds and claims of bribe taking. Mohammed has refuted the allegations, and he is now contesting the upcoming elections under his recently formed party, the We Invest in Nationhood Party. A Partnership for National Unity, the APNU, today explained its absence from the signing of the Ethnic Relations Commission's Code of Conduct for political parties contesting the upcoming elections. The Code of Conduct was signed by 4 of the 6 contesting parties: the People's Progressive Party Civic, the Alliance for Change, the We Invest in Nationhood Party, and the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity. By signing the code, the parties have committed themselves to safeguarding peace, order, and respect for the democratic process. The APNU and Forward Guyana movement did not sign the Code of Conduct. In a statement today, the APNU said while it believes in peaceful and respectful campaigning, it does not believe the Ethnic Relations Commission is the correct agency to oversee such an initiative to hold parties accountable. The APNU said it would like it to be made clear that while it believes in the value of a code of conduct on peaceful, respectful, and lawful campaigning, it has no confidence in the impartiality and independence of the Ethnic Relations Commission, adding that under the PP civic government, the ERC has become merely a political stooge. The APNU said, not surprisingly, it has accordingly failed to perform its many constitutional functions. According to the APNU, the Ethnic Relations Commission is unfit to serve as the sponsor of a code of conduct on peaceful election campaigning, and described the signing under the agency's command as a political gimmick that will do little to promote free and fair elections and to serve the interests of the Guyanese people. The APNU coalition said it pledges to the nation that it will conduct its campaign in a peaceful, lawful, and respectful manner. It said it embraces the fact that Guyanese have the constitutional freedom of expression, association, and assembly, and that the party embraces the fact that Guyanese must be able to freely vote for the party of their choice. The APNU says should it take government, it will transform the Ethnic Relations Commission to function in a manner that will allow it to carry out its constitutional mandate. Attorney General and candidate for the People's Progressive Party, Civic Anil Nandlal, has said there are active efforts to once again link the governing PPP to extrajudicial killings in the country. He believes the moves are being made to discredit his party and to turn some sections of the population away from the PPP ahead of the upcoming elections. At an emancipation celebration just last week, APNU presidential candidate and opposition leader Aubrey Norton said if his party is to take government, a widespread investigation will be done into extrajudicial killings in the country, dating back to the crime wave of the early 2000s, where a sitting government minister was also killed, but there was no proper investigation. During his weekly Issues in the News program last evening, Mr. Nandlal said a statement by the opposition leader might be to drum up support, recalling that such a promise was made back in 2015, but no inquiry was undertaken by the coalition government between 2015 and 2020.
Granger himself, as president, was asked frontally about this long line of extrajudicial killings that they spoke about when they were in the opposition, that they promised that they will inquire into. And here it is, 4 years into his government, he is admitting on a national radio show that there is no evidence of the same extrajudicial killings that they are now again promising that they're going to reopen. This level of duplicity, this level of deceit, this level of rank dotishness is what I am speaking about.
Violence was unleashed in several communities across the country back in 2002 following a jailbreak. And the two main political parties, the PPP and the PNC, that's the People's National Congress, have been casting blame on each other for the violence and the killings. The PPP was in government at a time when police officers were deployed to certain villages and were accused of terrorizing and even killing persons. Those issues formed a substantial part of the 2015 election campaign. Mr. Nandlal said that PPP has also been open to those investigations, and he said he was also looking forward to the investigations of political activist Courtney Cromie-Wing.
Relentless attempts were made to implicate the PPP, and me in particular, in Cromie-Wing's killing. And that is why I bit the bullet and I called upon them on this program, and I wrote it in many unruly horse articles calling upon them to hold the inquiry. They never did.
According to the Attorney General, every time there is a killing of a certain nature, persons are quick to point fingers at his party and his party's government.
Yo, Ricky, I hear that you can't cheat at elections, boy.
Yeah, boy, you can't cheat at elections, and if you try to cheat, you will be caught. When you are caught, you will be prosecuted in court, and if found guilty, you will go to jail and pay a big fine.
How they will catch me if I try to cheat?
GCOM has put in place several measures to identify persons who would attempt to cheat. As an ordinary voter, the measures that apply to you are ensuring that you cannot impersonate another voter, checking your fingers for the presence of indelible ink, and being scrutinized by the party agents who are stationed at the polling stations.
Well, yes, Ricky, you're right, boy. Nobody can cheat.
For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
We ready, time to remove the curse.
The APNU Coalition campaign now moves to Region 10, Linden Town. On Sunday, August 10th at the Palm Tree Cinema Square from 4 p.m. Come hear from our candidates. Come hear about our people-centered development strategy that puts people first. Come hear from our Prime Ministerial candidate, Jurita Fernandez, our presidential candidate, Aubrey C. Norton, and others. On Sunday, August 10th from 4 p.m. Linden Town. The Palm Tree Cinema Square will vibrate with a people-powered campaign. APNU, putting people first.
Time to remove the curse.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright. Have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market.
Contrary to popular belief, voting is easy as 1, 2, 3. On the ballot paper, provision is made for you to vote twice. Once on the top section where you vote for the general election, and once at the bottom section where you vote for the regional election. All you need to do is look for the name and symbol of the party of your choice in the top section for the general election, and mark your X in the empty box next to the party's symbol. Then, look for the name and symbol of the party of your choice in the bottom section for the regional election, and mark your X in the empty box next to the party's symbol. After you have voted, you are required to fold the ballot paper as shown by the election official, dip the first joint of your right index finger in indelible ink, and place the ballot paper in the ballot box. You will then have to leave the polling station. For further information, contact GCOM's hotlines at 225-027729, 226-6557, 223-9650, or visit the GCOM website at www.gcom.org.gy.
On the campaign trail tonight, presidential candidate for the APNU, Aubrey Norton, said the coalition of parties intend to train young Guyanese in construction to better position them to benefit from government contracts. During a late-night rally at Beirut on the east coast of Demerara, Mr. Norton told residents there that with training, small contractors will be able to deliver quality projects while benefiting from state contracts for the construction of roads and bridges, among other infrastructure.
We're saying to you, as a political party in government, we will train the young people so that they can have the skills to earn a living. We're saying to you that the Constitution of Guyana provides for 25% of all contracts to go to small contractors. I want to make this pledge to you. We will train you to undertake contracts, and when we give you a contract, it will be a proper contract.
The incumbent People's Progressive Party civic government has boasted repeatedly about awarding billions of dollars in contracts to small contractors across the country, largely for the construction of roads and bridges. But Mr. Norton contends that the administration is giving a pittance to small contractors, while their close associates are being given multi-billion-dollar contracts at a single go.
If you follow the trend of them giving contracts, you will recognize a joker like critic, a joker like critic, a zombie like critic, and no good like critic can get a $800 million contract while they come telling you about 2 and 5 and 10. When they thief, they thief, brother. They don't thief with a secret. They just thief as if it's their own.
Mr. Norton said while the country has been raking in billions of dollars from the oil and gas industry, the PP civic government did little to improve the salaries of Guyanese workers, particularly those in the public sector. Since 2020, Guyana has received more than $1 trillion in oil revenue and royalties. But according to Norton, the masses are still to reap the benefits. He said even in the absence of oil, the APNU AFC administration between 2015 and 2019 increased the public servants' salaries by 77%. Norton said now with oil, an APNU-led government would be able to do more for Guyanese. He said in addition to squandering the country's resources, the PP Civic is guilty of covering up crimes in the country. And he was quick to point to the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young, whose lifeless body was found in a hotel pool back in April. Accusing the Irfan Ali administration of colluding with others to cover up the child's death, Norton said a vote for the PPP is a vote in support of the murder of a child.
I said to you, a vote for the PPP is a vote in support of the murder of Adriana Young. Because it is that government that did everything to cover up the murder. And I say this to you, in government, we will ensure a proper international investigation into the death of Adriana Young.
He also said that since taking office in 2020, the Ali administration has abused its powers with increased reports of police brutality. He said his party will bring down crime and ensure that Guyanese live in a secured country where they are able to benefit from the resources of the state. Guyanese will not be required to pay a bond of up to $15,000 to enter the U.S. should the U.S. move ahead with a pilot non-immigrant program, U.S. Ambassador Nico Therio told reporters today. The U.S. administration has proposed a pilot program that could see business and tourist visa applicants from certain countries being required to pay a bond of up to $15,000 to enter the United States. The U.S. ambassador said Guyana is not among the countries to be affected.
So currently, Guyana is not included on that list. It does not apply to Guyanese citizens applying for a visa.
According to U.S. media reports, the 12-month program would apply to travelers from countries with high visa overstay rates and weak internal documentation security. Based on the applicant's profile, the bond could range from $5,000 to $15,000. Ambassador Therio said Guyana's overstay rate is not problematic.
I haven't checked recently, but Guyana's overstay rate is not very high. It's not, in my opinion, it's not problematic in that sense. So at this moment, Guyana is not included on that list. And I mean, obviously anything could change, but I would be very surprised.
According to a report published by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, in 2023, Guyana had an overstay rate of 5.59%, with a total of 3,186 Guyanese with visitors' visas overstaying their time in the U.S. the U.S. government has been rolling out a number of initiatives to clamp down on illegal immigration. Now let's tell you that a 36th group of U.S. Peace Corps volunteers was sworn in this morning to serve Guyana. 27 new volunteers will be working in various communities across the country to boost health, education, and environmental support. Among the 27 volunteers are 8 education volunteers, 11 environment volunteers, 5 health volunteers, and 3 response volunteers. U.S. Ambassador to Guyana Nicole Theriot shared her admiration for the work done by the Peace Corps volunteers across the country. She offered gratitude to host families for their generosity and the communities that have welcomed the volunteers.
When meeting Peace Corps volunteers, I am always really impressed by the incredible positive relationships that they build with their host families, in their communities, and with their counterparts.
The ambassador emphasized that the volunteers represent the very best of what the U.S. offers the world. People who build bridges across cultures through genuine relationships and service. Many of the volunteers go on to serve in government or with international organizations, continuing their journeys of impact, it was explained. Acting Country Director for the Peace Corps, Brian Riley, stated the Peace Corps is not a one-way act, but a shared journey of growth and understanding. He noted the evolution of the Peace Corps from simply delivering aid to fostering more meaningful long-term partnerships.
Every Peace Corps volunteer who goes abroad will have something to offer the people with whom he lives and works, and to learn from them.
And Guyana's Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, commended the contributions of the Peace Corps volunteers, noting that even small acts can lead to significant, lasting change.
And so there might be little interventions that you will do, but you will see over time that it can make a big impact. And over the years, in different capacity, I've had the opportunity of working with Peace Corps volunteers. And I think the different things that they do help to change what we are doing here in Guyana.
The health minister welcomed the volunteers and reaffirmed the Guyana government's appreciation to the United States' ongoing support and commitment to national development.
Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you're feeling. Ole cheesy, too much ripples and more combo pack of flavors galore, yeah. Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best.
Enjoy Sunshine Snacks Combo Pack. Best mix, best value.
Best mix, so we feeling best. New style, with the same great taste in the 250 ml can. Everybody run out now. Go grab one. Me charge up with a turbo 250 ml at your favorite spot. Wait sell. New look, new can, same vibes. Jinxing, energize up your life. Vibes up, work time, anytime we are turn up the party with turbo can. Turbo can, turbo can, turbo can. Now available in the new 250 ml can. Turbo energy drink. Charge up today. Time to remove the curse.
The APNU Coalition campaign now moves to Region 10, Linden Town. On Sunday, August 10th at the Palm Tree Cinema Square from 4 p.m. Come hear from our candidates. Come hear about our people-centered development strategy that puts people first. Come hear from our Prime Ministerial candidate, Jurita Fernand, our presidential candidate, Aubrey C. Norton, and others. On Sunday, August 10th from 4 p.m. Linden Town. The Palm Tree Cinema Square will vibrate with a people-powered campaign. APNU, putting people first.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of GAIA's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Gaia Oil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. As the U.S. tariffs on Brazilian goods jumped to 50% on Wednesday, Brazil's President Luiz Lula da Silva told Reuters in an interview that he saw no room for direct talks with U.S. President Donald Trump, which he believes would turn into a humiliation for him. Brazil is not about to announce reciprocal tariffs, he said, nor will his government give up on cabinet-level talks. But Lula himself is in no rush to ring the White House. Lula, in an interview from his presidential residence in Brasilia, said, and I quote, "The day my intuition says Trump is ready to talk, I wouldn't hesitate to call him. But today my intuition says he doesn't want to talk, and I'm not going to humiliate myself." End of quote. Despite Brazil's exports facing one of the highest tariffs imposed by Trump, the new U.S. trade barriers look unlikely to derail Latin America's largest economy, giving Lula more room to stand his ground against Trump than most Western leaders. President Trump tied the new tariff to his demand for an end to the prosecution of right-wing former President Jair Bolsonaro, who is standing trial for plotting to overturn the 2022 election. But President Lula said Brazil's Supreme Court, which is hearing the case against Bolsonaro, does not care what Trump says, and it should not, adding that Bolsonaro should face another trial for provoking Trump's intervention, calling the right-wing former president a traitor to the homeland. U.S. energy giant ExxonMobil's negotiation for the award of 7 ultra-deep-water exploration blocks off the country's east coast of Trinidad and Tobago is a done deal, according to an international news report. According to Reuters, ExxonMobil finalized terms with the TNT government, and the agreement is expected to be formally signed next week. It would mark ExxonMobil's return to Trinidadian waters after an absence of 2 decades. The report stated, and I quote, "The newly designated area, renamed Ultra Deep 1, encompasses water depths ranging from 2,000 to 3,000 meters and is situated northwest of ExxonMobil's prolific Stabroek Block in Guyana, where the company and its consortium partners have discovered over 11 billion barrels of recoverable oil and gas resources." End of quote. A 2024 study by Houston-based energy analytics firm TGS cited a suggestion that Trinidad and Tobago's ultra-deep water reserves could hold potential comparable to the Stabroek Block. And finally tonight, international news. U.S. President Donald Trump has issued an executive order hitting India with an additional 25% tariff over its purchases of Russian oil, according to the BBC. That will raise the total tariff on Indian imports to the United States to 50%, among the highest rates imposed by the U.S. The new rate will come into effect in 21 days, so on August 27, according to the executive order. A response from India's foreign ministry on Wednesday said Delhi had already made clear its stance on imports from Russia and reiterated that the tariff is unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable. It said, and I quote, "It is therefore extremely unfortunate that the U.S. should choose to impose additional tariffs on India for actions that several other countries are also taking in their own national interests," end of quote. The U.S. president had earlier warned that he would raise levies, saying India does not care how many people in Ukraine are being killed by the Russian war machine. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.